Hello there. I'm Matt Banacora with Waves Factory, and I want to dive into Sharine. Sharine is a really interesting plugin. It's got every single type of tambourine or shaker you could possibly want, and an amazing ability to combine them together, as well as play some preset patterns and utilize pre-roll to be able to get the pre-roll of that shaker or tambourine instrument when you pick it up or start moving it before you actually get the strike. It's really one of a kind. These green keys down here are going to indicate what patterns you're using. So I've got a lot of different sequencer patterns that are fully customizable. If I go to the settings page, you can see you got the ability to adjust it there. Now, you'll notice there's a nice little graphical display, and any of these instruments can be activated simply by clicking on them. So I can activate two different shakers and two different tambourines if I want. And you'll hear as I deactivate them, things getting a little smaller. So you can have a really giant sound of shakers and tambourines. Now, if you look at the mixer page, you'll notice that I've got close mics, mid mics, and far mics. These can be panned and adjusted, as well as loaded and unloaded. For you to determine how much ambience you want. You can even adjust the mix if you want to really favor one. Now, this stereo width down here for the mid and far mics, which were recorded in stereo, you can swap the stereo field here by going down to 0 to get it mono, or going into negative values to reverse those stereo channels. Let's go back to that main page. Now, the individual instruments can be customized as well. So again, if I've got this shaker and tambourine, or if I want to use two shakers to get two different sounds, but I want to maybe pan them left and right or something like that, well, you can adjust these instruments individually. There's a little drop-down menu underneath each one. Just click it, and you've got the ability to work with it. So here's my instrument, wood shaker. You can see all the different ones I'm working with. And if I want, I can pan the wood shaker hard right and pan this other shaker, the big plastic one, hard left. Wow, I'm really spreading things out in the stereo field now. You can also adjust the pitch. And you can adjust the volume of each one if you want to create your own unique mix, separate from the mixer, just working on the instruments individually. Now, I noticed that I've got these green pattern buttons down here, and of course those patterns are customizable. You can go to the settings page and choose what kind of accents you want, if you want accents at all. So you just quickly click on the dynamic level of each measure of each note. Now you can adjust the pre-roll and turn it on to have a little bit of offset. You can adjust the swing in the pattern if your sequence is swinging or if your song is swinging. And I've got the ability here to ratchet down the amount of steps if I want. So if I don't want, 16 steps in my sequencer, I can have a little more, a little less. And as well, I can adjust what those steps are worth. So if those steps are supposed to be 16th notes, or if they're supposed to be 8th notes, I can click it there. So a lot of customization available, but you don't have to use the sequencer. If you want to play your own pattern, that's what these blue notes here are for. So you've got two directions, the forward and back shake, and a hit. So feel free to create your own patterns with the blue note. It's just good to use the green notes if you can, because you can get that pre-roll benefit. So remember that, the percussive hit of the shaker or the percussive hit of the tambourine, that should happen on the beat. But a lot of times with other sampled instruments, they don't give you the pre-roll, the little sound of those things moving around a little just before you hit them. And in this case, each of these instruments has its own pre-roll. So you can turn it on and it will put the percussive hits of those instruments in the right spot, each separately. It's really amazing. Now, in the red keys, we've got a lot of different types of rolls. Sounds like a rattlesnake up in here. And of course, with these yellow keys, I've got a stick, a drum. And with the yellow keys, I've got a drumstick striking the instrument, which is really cool too. So you've really got a lot of flexibility. You can create your own patterns. You can use all of them at once if you want. Go ahead and click them all on, or a lot of them on. You get lots of tambourines and shakers, an entire chorus of them. So that's really cool. Let's take a look at the effects page. So with the effects, I've got the ability to put effects separately on the close, mid, and far mics or on the master. So if I have an ambient effect like a reverb or something, I might be able to put that on the master to give it that room reverb that I'm using for, to match the rest of my song. But let's say I decide that the close mics are getting a little too aggressive. Some of those hits are jumping out at me. I can put a compressor on the close mics and just keep the percussive elements of it under control. So the far mics can breathe a little bit, the close mics are a little bit more tightly controlled, and my reverb is happening on the master effect. So I really can't see you needing any other kind of shaker or tambourine when you've got Sharine. Just access to so many different sounds, rolls, hits, recorded in a great fashion, and lots of control available to you. Check it out from Waves Factory.